Alright, we have returned. It is time for Chapter 3. Let us deploy in. So we get this nice ominous crimson star. And then I'll click through it real quick. Get a bit of a conversation. They talk about sort of their philosophies, what they think. Lindley's trying to be a little bit empathetic toward the people who are rebelling. Saying, really, they're upset and they want to be heard. And Zelos has a little bit more jaded take on it. Basically points out that, even a bunch of, I think he says something like, even sheep can become lions at a moment's notice or something. Or basically, if you let the rebellion keep going, they could end up causing huge problems. So you have to take care of it. So here we are. We're lined up. Casimir shows up on the front lines, tells the general, or the commander, I guess. He's like, all right, let's go. Let's attack in. And then Lindley actually speaks up. By the way, she's like 25 years old. She's like speaking directly to the prime minister. She's like, no, we should be patient. We shouldn't just rush in, or something like that. And surprisingly, he doesn't flip out on her. He recognizes her by name and turns around and asks the commander, maybe should we be patient? Kind of like, yeah, maybe. Anyway. So Lindley's like, no, we have to get there before the army does. We have to convince them to lay down arms. So in this chapter, it introduces a new mechanic. Well, two new mechanics. One is you can deploy additional squads. So we just sort of made this, I'm going to call these meme squads, just made them out of crummy units. They're not meant to accomplish anything in combat. They're there to just exist as decoys and then die. Alright, that's the first mechanic. The second mechanic is the force surrender mechanic. So we've already seen healers surrendering. Now the next thing that happens, if you look at right below where it says infantry 6, like on the right, it says shatter. That's their morale stat. And so the morale bar shows up at the top in the combat screen, and morale affects the amount of damage you do. I don't know if it affects crit rate and other things, but if you get hit, your morale goes down. If you hit the enemy and kill them, your morale goes up. Interesting mechanic. Now, starting this chapter, you can run adjacent to a unit and attack and click Force Surrender. And what this does is it rolls something of your squad versus their morale, and then if you succeed on the roll, you just immediately force the entire squad to surrender without combat. Now, if you fail the roll, then you end up in combat, but you lose your first turn. The consolation is, when you enter combat by using forced surrender, if you actually defeat one of the units in combat, there's a chance for it to surrender instead of just dying. So, the advantage of causing surrenders is you get gold and faction EXP at the end of the mission. My understanding is you also get an increased amount of leadership gain, loyalty gain, EXP gain, class experience gain if you cause surrenders. So the game has given us these two soldiers with lowest possible morale to encourage us to force surrender, just to observe the mechanic. So we did that. We got a bunch of stuff. Check it out. Lindley is now 58. We're getting closer to the 60 threshold. I'm going to take the other side with Barnabas. I'm going to block the path right there. So, other things to note. As a bonus objective, there is no allied Imperial Army squads lost. Those are these green fellows. So the green fellows act, if I remember correctly, it goes your turn, then the enemy turn, and then the green unit's turn, I think? Maybe it's the opposite. But anyway, these idiots are kind of like, oh my god. When I played Gloomhaven and I was complaining about escort missions, because the escort literally just runs forward, aggroes enemies, and then dies. And the way you prevent that is by body blocking the escort so they can't move forward. Similar deal here. These green units just rush forward, go into the enemy, and will often just die because they suck. and your job is to try to body block them to keep them from dying.
I'm just getting started.
Okay. I'm just gonna go here.
Here comes
Sybil comes
ready
up.
or not.
Your command?
I don't think I'm gonna do this. They have crossbows.
For Viridia.
Time to end this.
So what I'm doing here is I'm sort of creating a body block wall so that the cavalry cannot rush forward and kill Jules. But Jules is just gonna shoot with these crossbows. He's just here to play around this mission. So I gotta remember, it's us, then the green, then the enemy. Blue, green, red. These calves should both attack into Lindley. Oh, they all three attack into Lindley. This is actually a bit awkward, because Lindley doesn't have the level of tankiness to handle this. We do have the Donari armor, which is great, but we're 100% just gonna die. Got a free heal action? Nice. Huge. Massive. The archers shoot my meme squad because my meme squad has the lowest threat. And by doing this, like having a decoy, we're basically taking aggro away from the green squads. So this is a strat that we will be employing from time to time. My understanding of the game mechanics is, right, like there are two ways to tank effectively. One is you tank by position, by like putting yourself so that you're the only squad that enemies can access. And then the second is by threat tanking. Right, so like, because if they can access you, they'll attack the lowest threat unit. And we'll try to split up the tanking duty among like positional and threat. I won't always succeed at this, but I'll try to be conscious of it. I'm just super happy that Lindley lived through that onslaught, because the EXP on those two guys actually kind of matters. Alright, so what's our goal? Our goal is to beat this guy, and our goal is also to collect this and this with Barnabas. We have 7 turns total, so I think this is out of the question. Like this is 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, we can't, okay. Now, Zelos is in charge of attacking into this super tanky frontline again. So we're just going to abuse the fact that Zelos himself has high damage, and the whatchamacallit in the back.
You got a plan?
How do I want to play this? I guess I just do this, huh? The apprentice in the back punches through heavy armor fairly nicely.
School is in session.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just straight up sacrifice this squad. I'm going to put them right next to Barnabas and heal myself. And at least one of these squads is going to go up and hit this and just die. Well, we're going to die. Let's see, we're over here. I want to finish them off. I might as well shoot them first, yeah? Okay, well, we got it.
Ready. They'll notice this one for sure. For my people.
Nope,
For
not
my
enough.
homeland. I must stay
Suck.
strong.
We get a free promotion on that fighter unit just by bringing the meme squad to the map. I really like seeing stuff like that. Just super high value. This is where we should bite the dust. Everything as planned. In this way, the back infantry doesn't have enough mobility to come up and hit the green guy. Sure.
For Viridia.
So, we attack up into here. We're going to do a forced surrender into you because you're shaken. It's a mid, so we failed the roll. That means they get to attack first. We only get one round of attacks off. But, right, there's the consolation. We get a surrender instead of a kill. And that's good for us. Okay. Now. I'm gonna stay here.
The battle lies before
Lindley grabs this.
We will always find a way.
Go here. Sybil is 36-31. She doesn't have the ability to tank the hits. I'm a little bit worried about turns. Okay, I think we're fine. And it's important to body block out these green units, because otherwise they will just, you know, run into their death.
Direct my blade.
We're gonna go here.
I ain't got all.
5, 6. Wait, hold on. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so Barnabas has to go here this turn.
the time to act is now.
I'm gonna shuffle you back
strong,
just to
everyone.
get in your way. I think I'm ready to attack into 3 crossbows and potentially lose my life.
Here comes Sybil, ready or not.
Can kind of help that outcome by doing this. I'm healing up the back line because they still need promotions. The front line already has their promotions, so if they die, it's less of a deal. take a look at EXP. Oh, you have your promotions maxed. I see. Gotcha. So we're fine. We don't have to do any more combat with Jules. Okay. So turn 5 is Barnabas attacks and moves. Turn 6 capture, turn 7 capture. Turn 5 you attack. Lindley can do whatever, and then you're gonna go turn 5, 6, 7 and grab the shop. Okay. And the green units are basically all safe now. The crossbows don't have enough firepower to just kill every unit. And it's close here, though. But no, we're fine. Easy game.
They'll notice this one for sure. Ready.
We will always find a way.
More EXP?
For my
Sure,
people.
why not?
For my homeland.
Stay strong, everyone.
You do get a defensive bonus against arrows when you're in the woods. Maybe not a damage defense, but like a dodge bonus.
You got a plan?
Okay. Beautiful. Super beefy frontline. Watch them fall to the hands of Zelos. Considering Zelos only did 49 damage, the fact that this did 25 is actually kind of insane. The sword fighters will upgrade into sword masters, and my first playthrough I severely underestimated them. It turns out they're insane. It's just it takes a while to get there, so you have to babysit them. But this playthrough I'm going to be making much heavier use of the sword fighter sword master combo. Yeah. So we beat the mission, now we just gotta collect everything.
I must
Can
stay
I get there? I cannot get there. Alright, Jules, collect the kill. Don't give it to the green people. I guess I could have done a forced surrender there, huh? Whatever.
I'm just getting started.
It's our first on-map shop. We get a dragon. We're going to recruit the dragon for sure. And I thought about the war cats, and apparently these are deceptively strong. As in, like, according to the Discord and the forums, their stat line does not do them justice. Like, they're a lot more effective than their stat line suggests. They are expensive at this stage in the game, though. It's another archer captain. I'm not that interested in archer captain. Not that interested in any of y'all. Although maybe I just take you for fun. Take this. God, I want a Sirens. It's such a good item. I think I'm just taking a Pyrocyte though. And I don't think I'm buying any of the other ones. Pacifist is kind of good. Alright, I'll take a Pacifist. Fine, it's 250 gold. And I'm not recruiting any of these people. Alright, so there's all my money.
School is in session.
And we're sort of at the stage where I'm... Ooh. I'm giving it to Lindley.
The battle lies before me.
Am I? So next okay, so basically what I'm thinking about here is the next time I get a barracks phase with Barnabas in it, I'm going to be using these items called Medal of Valor. A Medal of Valor increases your leadership by an amount based on how much leadership you already have. So if you have less than 50 leadership, you get +3. If you have between 50 and 59, you get +2. So if I go for the capture here with Barnabas, he goes to 50. And then in the next time Barnabas is in a mission, he'll run around, he'll potentially go to like 51. If I hold off here and don't give it to him, then I'll Medal of Valor to 52. I think you get 3 Medals of Valor total between now and then. So I'll Medal of Valor him to 52, 54, 56. As opposed to... yeah. I'm giving it to Lindley.
To act is now.
For Viridia.
Ready.
The bonus from surrendered units actually does start to add up pretty significantly. So like if you can cause a lot of surrenders, you can potentially get like more faction EXP from this than like just the objectives. Alright. So here we are. We have cornered General Antares and the Empress. And Antares, for whatever reason, decides to commit seppuku. And the poor Empress, who, has known this guy for quite a while, is, like, sort of freaking out. And in comes the Prime Minister with, this suspicious-looking cloaked figure. And what he does is he actually accuses Lindley and Zelos of inciting the rebellion. Calls them traitors and heretics, and shoots them. Although he does specify this is numbing poison. This is not actual crossbow bolts. So both of those fellows are going to presumably live. And then Florina is just like straight up freaking out. She's like, oh my god, what is happening? And Casimir, the Prime Minister, gives her the, don't worry, milady, we've taken care of the rebels. Just gaslighting the hell out of her. Gives her the, after you, milady. She confusedly steps forward, and he stabs her to death. So his goal, like, he wants to be the emperor. Right? But he is actually not bloodline of the emperor. And so, like, it's said that, like, he was, I guess, in the running for the position or something. But I guess the way this land works is, like, they weren't going to let Casimir become the emperor. But he really wants to be the emperor. So he sort of, like, I guess, used Antares' rebellion to try to fulfill his ambition. Lindley and Zelos, unfortunately, were just the victims of that. And the Empress is now dead. So, betrayal. Prime Minister Casimir had Lindley and Zelos taken alive just before assassinating Empress Florina. Using his position, he blames the murder on the Donari Temple's meddling. Unimpeded by a sitting head of state, the newly bolstered by the victory over Antares, Casimir strengthens his position as Prime Minister for all Viridia. But neither the throne nor the Empire's strongest noble houses are under his control. Before too long, the great dukes of the Empire, Terranor of the Duchy of Rimorg, in the east here, Lothair of the Duchy of Isanter, in the west, and Jaromir of the Duchy of Embor in the north. All issue public rebukes of one another, claiming the Empress's murder was a political plot to attempt to gain control of the imperial throne. Florina's uncle Terranor sends his army to his forward base at Fort Eureka as a show of force. The fate of Lindley and Zelos remain a mystery. However, fortunes turn in Lindley's favor as an unlikely hero arrives just in time. So it's a bit rough because we got like a bunch of exposition dump and like faces and names. We'll get them later. So this is when Lindley is 18. This was 7 years ago. And that little figure who just exited to the bottom, that looked like Lysander. We'll probably see him again. So they're bullying Lindley because she's an orphan, because she's a girl. Who knows? Maybe they have a crush on her. It's a weird thing people do. And Zelos shows up, and he's like, yo, homie, you can't just take it. You gotta fight back. And he, like, makes some, like, allusion to the fact that, like, you know, they're picking on her, but maybe they don't hate her, because at the end of the day, we're all soldiers. Like, we're here for each other. And she's like, it's fine. Like, I'll just take it. And I think, like, he says something to the extent of, like, if anything happens to them, don't say anything. And he just walks over and beats the shit out of them. All right, chapter 4. Here's Stefan. He's a thief.
Bet you didn't see this one coming.
Sorry, wrong tile.
I love
So
this
actually,
part.
let me
Real
look at
thirsty
Stefan's
here.
stats. So number 1, insane stat line. Just look at that crazy amount of skill. So stealth attack, guerrilla, and thievery are class traits available to the rogue class, which he is. Thievery says if you attack something, you have to be on offense, right? So it's not when you're returning fire. You gain gold every time you hit based on your skill stat. Cool. The stealth attack is if you initiate, then you attack their backline. Then guerrilla is you get evasion and bonus hit when you're in rough terrain on defense,
sorry.
or just
Did
in
you see
general when you're
something?
attacking. Cool. Stefan is insane. And the way we're going to be utilizing Stefan is we're going to fill his squad with other rogues, and we're just going to run around hitting things for money. And that's how we're going to finance our campaign.
Bet you didn't see this one coming. I love this part.
He also has a trait called Treasure Hunter, so you gain an increased drop chance for items whenever his squad kills an enemy. But I don't know how much it is, and it doesn't feel that significant, so I'm not going to play around it that much. Trigger the event, we free Lindley. Lindley's like, huh, what's going on? He's like, homie,
For my
you're
people,
safe. I work for the
my
temple.
homeland.
It's a thief working for the temple. Don't ask too many questions.
Oh, sorry. Did you need something?
I must stay strong.
So one of the cool things with Stefan is whenever he loots a treasure chest, it's a
Bet you
free
didn't see
action.
this
So you can
one
go over
coming.
here, loot the treasure chest, and he can use his remaining movement points afterward. He can also, because it's a completely free action, loot multiple treasure chests in a turn.
The battle lies
And
before me.
there are a couple places where that matters, I think. Just like insane action economy.
I love this part.
I wonder if there's an
Real
advantage to just
thirsty
sitting
here.
here. You know, I'm gonna
sorry.
try it.
Did you need something?
This is not how I played this last time, but... Yeah, okay.
The
I'm
time
just
to
gonna go ahead and
act is
attack
now.
here. Yes. It should be safe to attack. I won't die in between turns. Why does Lindley feel so tanky? What did I do to her?
Ready.
She's a healer, right? Oh, it's because of the Donari armor. That's why she's so tanky. Ah. Right, because I got the Donari armor, like, out of a shop. Like, I'm not, you know... So I played the early game, you know, more than once, because I was, like, trying to learn the game. And so I've done this mission quite a number of times. I'm not used to Lindley being this tanky.
Bet you didn't see this one coming.
For my people, for my homeland.
So we've got a new homie. This is Diana, my favorite character in the game. Diana is the leader of the paladins of the Donari Temple. Diana is a very large lady with a very large hammer, and she smash thing is how it goes. So our goal is to get Lindley to these tiles. That's the escape route. But we do have 12 turns, and we would like to open all the treasures.
I love this part.
In addition, I would like to score some more kills with Stefan.
Getting real thirsty here.
I think I can get one more kill before the mission ends, maybe two.
Oh, sorry. Did you bet you didn't see this one coming?
The battle lies before me. A paladin never surrenders.
Because you get one more reinforcement from here.
I love this
Oh my
part.
god, not enough. Not enough.
Getting real thirsty here.
Block this. You're not gonna die, are you? We trust. I mean, it's not a big deal if Stefan dies. Like, even with permadeath turned on, because Stefan is a story character, like, you don't actually lose him. Dude, imagine losing Stefan and having to play the campaign without him. That's such a big steal.
Oh, sorry.
Infinity Dark.
Did you need something?
Normally, like, you can buy that for like 900 or so. But just having an extra Infinity Dark means I can cheese a certain thing very hard. Alright, so that changes my gameplay decisions in Chapter 5. Cool, cool. So we get out. We're now somehow in the frigid north. We're actually at the northwest edge of the country on a peninsula. Lindley asks, was there anyone else captive with me? Looking for Zelos, obviously. And they're like, nah, you were the only one. So she's Sag. And they're like, come with us. We're with the Temple of Donar. We'll take care of you. She's like, okay, I'll follow you. So they go up to, this is Granheim Abbey. This is an outpost of the temple. And they have like a bit of an army up here. And they basically, so Diana's goal is to tell Lindley some secret stuff. So she drags Lindley into, I guess, the chapel and has a conversation with her. Basically say like, all right, so once upon a time, I mean, I guess this is common knowledge in this world. There was this big bad evil called Xanatus. And then there was like the Lord of Light or something called Donar. And there's this big holy war at the top of Mount Ptolemaea. And the avatars of Donar, which were like the, I guess the warriors of light, beat Xanatus. And since then, many years have passed, and there's this like prophecy that like Xanatus, the Lord of Darkness, is going to return, and then there are these Nephilim, and the Nephilim are like the reincarnations of the avatars of Donar or something. And Diana basically presents to Lindley that Lindley is possibly a Nephilim, so like the reincarnation. Sorry, I bumped my microphone. And Lindley's like, what? No way. And Diana basically says, like, on your body there's this like sigil that like the cultists in the prison were like basically trying to do magic experiments on you. And the fact that you lived through that is at least evidence that you've got some crazy magic power. And the fact that the cultists selected you to do their experiments on also suggests that they know something about you, etc., etc. Like, we think you're a Nephilim. And Lindley's like, And then Diana goes, by the way, the temple also thinks I'm a Nephilim, etc., etc. So Lindley's kind of like not knowing really how to take all this in. She basically, she's a soldier. She's not that interested in religion, but she's like, hey, look, I don't care for your religion, but at least you saved me. I'm going to follow you for the time being because I want to figure out what happened to my homie Zelos. Great. There's Abigail. And Abigail kind of looks like Jules. And Lindley goes, yo, do you have a brother? And she goes, yeah, I have a brother. And he's like, I think you know. Sorry. Lindley goes, I think I know your brother. And they bond. Fantastic. With the cunning adventurer Stefan and the mighty paladin Diana as Lindley's new allies, Lindley sets out from Granheim Abbey, bound for the Donari Monastery at Lemelin. There, she hopes to gain the answers she seeks. Lindley will have to reach Port Yenos, from which she can sail directly to Lemelin. But now, Lindley faces the followers of Xanatos, who seem to have far-reaching power and influence. It seems that Lindley's moment of rest will not last long, as the enemy has seen fit to call for reinforcements of its own. Alright, so the deal here is, Lindley was being held captive at Fort Naxos, and apparently the cultists of Xanatos, which is weird, because the Prime Minister is the one who captured her. But remember, he had this, very suspicious-looking hooded figure by his side. Presumably they are, like, a cultist. And she escaped, but the cultists are after her. And then it turns out that they might have either put a bounty on her head or directly employed the pirate faction called the Tide Reavers. So the Tide Reavers are after Lindley, and they have taken a position up at Fort Naxos. So what we're going to do is we're going to go beat some pirate ass, and then go to the port, which will let us get on a ship and go to the mainland, and then hang out at the main monastery. Cool. Stefan and Lindley chill. We're going to look at the tech tree. So remember, we're trying to build up here. We're going to grab this for sure. And I'm actually going to think about the army comp first, because Chapter 5 is a pretty unreasonably difficult mission. I'm going to drop you and you, I think. The reason I built these skirmishers is because they're eventually going to become rogues in Stefan's squad. But what I'm going to do for now is I'm going to leverage the fact that Stefan is super strong, put him in front, put you guys in the back, and I'm probably going to add in some healer units into the squad. Okay. Diana's squad is responsible for tanking. Now, I already have one loyal healer. So Diana currently has 48 out of 58. Now, when you already have leader plus 4 units in the squad, the next unit you add incurs a +2 penalty for capacity. And it goes +2, +4, +6, +8 as you put in more and more units. So in order to squeeze one more unit into Diana's squad, the cheese that we do is, let's see, there you are. We're going to disband this squad. And this is why I didn't want to put my loyal healer into Sybil's squad. Because in that kerfuffle, right, like Lindley is now isolated. So Jules, Sybil, and Barnabas are elsewhere. Zelos disappeared, and the units in Zelos' squad just got dumped into our barracks. So we get to use the units that were in Zelos' squad. But we lose the units that are in Jules, Barnabas, and Sybil's squad for the time being. And I wanted to use Vera in Diana's squad. So this is how it's going to go. We drop Catherine. We put in Vera. Now we're at 46 instead of 48. That's barely enough to add one more unit in. So we can stick... How do I want to do this? I suppose I can just put... Oh, I can put you. Nah, let's put you in. And by doing this, I now have a backline that can take dagger hits. So I can aggressively move Diana up and not worry about getting one-tapped. Fantastic. Okay, Marketplace, Trader. Take an Affinity Earth. Whew. I think I just have to take this. So there is a shop in the next chapter, and that shop is pretty important to have money for. So, God, this is hard. So basically, in the bazaar, like everything after the first bazaar will feature an orange tier, like a named unique mercenary who, like, it's random which one you get, but some of them are just insanely strong, and they cost, I think, it depends on which chapter you're in, but in chapter 6, I think you're looking to pay like 3,800 or 4,000 or something to recruit them. Plus there's a dragon in the shop. So I realistically need to go into chapter 6 and have around 6,000 gold if I want to buy all the stuff I want. So purchasing a sunstone here is kind of yikes. But sunstones are so good in this game. I'm going to buy precision. I don't think I need this. I can't imagine a situation in which I put this on a troop. This is also really good, but we'll grab a ruby ring. All right. What do recruits look like? A fighter with Liberator. So the benefit of Liberator is, right, seizing is, like, you kind of act like a cavalry when you siege. So like you seize. So you seize a control point, and then you get to move afterward. The problem is, I want to be seizing with, Lindley, Barnabas, Diana, and Stefan. So having a mob character with Liberator is basically useless the way I'm playing this game. Grab you. Okay. God, why is this so difficult? I'm trying to decide if I want to make Lindley a cavalry squad to level them up. I'm going to do something ridiculous. I've never done this before. I'm going to put double healer in Stefan's squad. Do I make Lindley Cav? Trying to think how I play this mission out. So Diana tanks. And normally I would say Lindley and Stefan are backline DPS. As in they sneak up and hit something, and then Diana stands in front and tries to tank the oncoming damage. But if Stefan does this, then Stefan basically doesn't do enough damage to destroy troops. He's just stealing money. So Lindley has to provide good DPS as backup. This is not a great DPS squad. 3970. We have 46 leadership. What the heck? It's insane. Something I could do is turn Lindley's squad into cavalry by putting in 2 of these and giving her a cav healer instead. And what does that do? It lets her hit and run better. Now, why did I have to do this? So the way movement works is it takes like the average. So right now I have 3 cabs and then 2, I guess a light infantry and a slow infantry. Maybe it's not like the average, it's like the majority. So I have majority cav, so I have cav movement. So then it makes sense to put the Donari armor... No, it's fine to put it on Lindley. I guess I can form a new squad just for fun and just run around doing some funky stuff with you guys. Alright, alright. Let's do squad operations. We're going to map sprite. You're going to look like an archer because you are an archer effectively. And we'll do this, move unit. And then we'll add in 2 healers. And then change the map sprite to a healer, and then you'll function as an ambulance squad. Okay. Marketplace, just checking one last time to see if there's anyone I want to recruit. I don't care to recruit any of you guys. Alright, good. System, save game. Chapter 5. Alright, we're going to cut the video. Next recording, we're going to go into Chapter 6 and see if my strategy pays. Oh, wait. Marketplace. Sorry. Not Marketplace. Tech tree. We're not done. I'm going to do this. Heavy infantry and a heavy cav gain 5 armor. And then I'm going to grab this. The ability to do cautious and aggressive attack. Right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Actually save the game. Actually end the recording. Okay, I'll see y'all next time. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll see some of you next time. Peace.